In this video, I'm giving you 7 brutal reasons why you may not want to buy a home in New Jersey. We're going to talk about what no one else is really talking about and make sure you don't get burned. All right, for the number one reason is simply if you're not financially ready. And I'm not talking about if you can get pre-approved for a mortgage. I'm talking about you can actually afford that mortgage. There's a huge difference between both. Let's start with the average home price in New Jersey, around $563,000, according to Zillow, to the latest data from spring 2025. But the areas most people want is like Cranford, Westfield, Montclair, Summit. You're looking at properties around $700,000 to over $1 million, and that's before taxes, closing costs, insurance, or any renovations. Like buying a home at $700,000 here in Union County, that's going to be between $15,000 to $35,000, and that's before even the taxes hit, and that's even before the mortgage. That's just simply for the down payment. If you don't have at least 3 to 6 months reserved in the bank just in case, you shouldn't be really thinking about buying a house. An unforeseen event could happen, a leak could happen, a car payment that you're not expecting, something might break down, or simply an emergency that you don't have funds in the account. You don't want to be in that situation. Let's not forget mortgage rates in early 2025 were hovering between 6.5 and 7% on a 30-year fixed mortgage. That's a huge shift from 3% earlier at 2021. Here's how the breakdown goes. So let me give you an example. At $600,000 at 3% mortgage, you're going to be paying around $2,500 a month. That's just for the mortgage. Now, at $600,000 at 7%, you're going to be paying around $4,000 a month. That's just the mortgage, not including the taxes here in New Jersey are extremely high, number ones in the country. So you're looking at an extra $12,000 a year. So, and that's also not including the insurance for the property. So you have to take these numbers into consideration, because just because you're going to get a mortgage, don't forget a lot of other things involved. And as someone that helps people literally buy houses all the time, don't get confused with getting pre-approved and we can actually afford. A lender will always tell you, yes, buy the house, but you might not be able to live with that mortgage. You might not actually be able to afford it. Don't give yourself no breathing room, because you don't want to be in a house and be house broke. So guys, if you are looking to buy something and you're just not knowing where direction to go, make sure to reach out to me. I'm Luca Lestrade. I'm a local real estate agent here, and I'm not going to talk to you like a realtor. I'm going to talk to you as serious, as true as possible, and see where you're at, because if you're not ready right now, you might be ready in a year or two. So make sure to give us a call. Info's going to be below. Call us, text us, email us, whenever you want. We'll be here to help. Reason number 2 that you shouldn't buy a house is that your income or your job isn't stable. This one especially hits hard for those commuters. A lot of people are coming from New York City and they're relying on that New York City paycheck to afford it here. Make sure that your job is stable and your income is not going to fluctuate too much. Let's look at the numbers. New Jersey has a relatively healthy job market when unemployment rates at around 4.5% as of spring 2025. If you're working in sectors like tech, finance, or media, especially based on New York City, layoffs are still happening. So you're commuting to the city or working at a Manhattan-based job, you need to ask yourself, is your job secure as it was 2 years ago? Because once you have that home, once you buy that property, that mortgage has to be paid every single month, and you're going to be on the hook, and there's going to be no way around that. Another challenge, return to the office mandates. A lot of companies are quietly phasing out hybrid working. So if you're moving out to Toms River, even Essex County, think you could work from home forever? Those 90 minutes commute might come roaring back. So the truth is, if your job feels a little bit uncertain, or you might be recalled back to work, don't overextend yourself in a home. Just rent for another year, save more money, get your credit up, get the reserves up in general. And when that time comes, you're going to be ready, or even just buy something smaller that might just make sense for the affordability factor. So if the job is kind of iffy, don't buy the house. I'd rather people just have the freedom of having a house in the future than just being extremely anxious and not being able to make those payments every single month. All right, number 3 is going to be a little controversial, especially coming from a real estate agent. But if you have a good rent right now and it's like below market or a good price, stay there. Don't feel pressure or get FOMO that you need to buy a house right now just because you feel like you should be buying something. Let's look at the numbers. In Jersey City, an average rent for a 1-bedroom in 2025 is about $3,050 a month, down nearly 3% year over year. And Newark rents are even lower. In towns in Rahway, Linden, and Avenel, you can still find modern rents for under $2,000. And if your rent's stable, you live in a clean apartment, you're near transportation, you're near things, and you're not cramped into a small apartment, you have so much leverage you don't even imagine. You still have time. Don't feel like you're pressure. You can still strategize. You can still plan for the future. And the deal will always come by, but you have to be ready. And right now, a lot of people are in rental apartments that are extremely good and very affordable. and I highly suggest you don't let that go. A lot of people don't realize this, but we're seeing surges of rental supplies across New Jersey, commuter towns. New apartment buildings are opening in places like West Orange, Bayonne, New Brunswick, and Harrison, and more options mean more negotiation power for the renters. So you're renting right now, don't feel shame, don't feel anything. Right now you have time to save up, you have time to kind of ride out this market rates for a little bit and wait for things to come down a little. And overall, you're gonna be a lot more free and less anxious once you have a house. It's a commitment to it, and don't be tied down, especially right now. You can wait a little bit and save up for the future. For number 4, if you're hoping that competition has slowed down New Jersey, the truth is it has not really. Yes, a few towns last year has came down in value, but overall, there's a lot of demand in most locations. And when there's a lot of demand and low supply, you're gonna get a lot of competition. Let's start with the data. The average month of inventory in New Jersey is still 2.3 months statewide, according to New Jersey Realtors April 2025. For context, anything under 3 months is strong seller's market. Balance is 5 to 6 months supply. We're most definitely nowhere near that. And what does that mean for you? In locations like Westfield, like Summit, like even Rahway, there's still a lot of competition. Even a few weeks ago when we closed a house in Roselle, we have over 20 offers on just one property because there's a lot of demand in those locations. Just because a few towns went down, don't expect the whole overall New Jersey market to be reflecting that. Now, to be fair, some towns have softened a little bit, like Clark and J City saw price declines of 4 to 7% over a year, and homes are sitting a bit longer there as well, but don't assume that means every market in New Jersey is wide open. So how should you handle something like that? Know your budget, pick your battles, don't chase after those properties that are just one of a kind and everybody wants them. And you're not gonna lowball yourself into Cranford. You might find deals like in Elizabeth, like Clark, Jersey City, probably to sit a little bit on the market for a little longer, probably a little bit older as well. You might get a little bit of a deal, but know the inventory, know the market, and just knowing those few factors, you're gonna know exactly when a good deal comes and when it's gonna be for you. And for number 5, what a lot of buyers don't think about is all the hidden costs when it comes to homeownership. It's just not just the mortgage you need to pay for, it's a lot of other things, and all of these things are still rising and pricing, and people don't realize how the little factors eat your wallet alive. Let's start with the biggest one, property taxes. New Jersey has the highest average property taxes in the entire country, 2.23% on an asset value, according to tax foundations. And those taxes, they're not coming down, they're still rising. Many towns in New Jersey have seen increase of 3, 5 to even 8%. And it's just to keep up with the schools, because New Jersey does have the best schools in the country, keep up with the inflation and keep up with the municipal pretty much debt it has to pay off for everything. So those numbers are going to keep going up. Budget accordingly, and don't forget about the hidden costs, because that's what literally people completely forget. They think just going to pay a mortgage and live like that. Taxes, insurance, and expenses all add up. And that's not even talking about utilities, the water bill, maintaining the building. Some properties have oil delivery, how about sewer. There's so many expenses, and that just keeps adding up. And coming from maybe renting a house, but everything's kind of bundled up together, these are numbers that a lot of first-time home buyers do not take into consideration to look over, and until they buy a house, they start feeling all those payments. Buying a home should make you feel stable, not anxious. So before you pull the trigger on that property, make sure you run your numbers. And again, guys, I am a realtor. Info is going to be below. If you need help with that information, make sure to give me a call. We run all your debt, all your income, any future debt, anything that we need to fix to actually be able to afford the house in the future. Make sure to give me a call. Info's going to be below. We'd love to chat a little bit and help you guys out. And for number 6, this one I see way too often, especially for buyers that are kind of stretching their numbers a little too much, is that they think the property is going to go up in the future. And that, in my opinion, is not a strategy, it's a gamble. And you're just banking on property value going up. You're going to be setting up yourself for failure instead of being stable and ready for whatever's coming. Yes, majority home prices overall went up 5.7% last year, according to Zillow. But looking closer, some towns actually went down a little bit. For example, Jersey City, Clark, these are not random little towns. These are prime commuter markets. That's not growing. That's a correction. So now ask yourself, what if the market stalls for 2 to 3 years? You're not growing equity. You're not building value on the property, you're just burning cash, you're paying taxes, you're paying for upkeeping, and your plans have completely changes for the negative. And yeah, probably in the long term, you are gonna see a lot of value appreciation on the property. But like I said, don't bank on that. Don't go into buying a house just expecting that, because that could take a long time. So instead of doing that, plan accordingly, have everything ready, and don't buy for no reason. Buy for a reason, buy with a plan, and just don't expect properties to go up like they've been going up recently in the past few years, because that's probably not going to continue to happen. And the last reason, and I might get a lot of people upset at me and upset at each other, but when you buy a house, if it's a girlfriend, if it's a family member, is a wife, that is legally binding transaction. So if you guys end up not being together or there's an issue within the family, you're still going to have to pay for that mortgage, and legally you both own it, and there's really no way around that unless there's other forms of legal matters you go through. So even if you think you guys are solid, the mortgage is not, the lender's not going to see it that way. For you guys to separate that, you're going to have to either get a letter of separation, get attorneys involved. It's a huge headache. So, you know, a lot of people might be just dating right now and looking to buy something, and if it doesn't work out, there's another layer of issues you have to handle after that. And look, I understand, guys, buying a house by yourself is extremely hard, especially with the prices right now and the down payment. But if the relationship's not going to be long lasting, make sure you do your due diligence, make sure you know exactly what you're getting yourself into, because breaking up is already hard enough. Imagine having to handle another $500,000 or more of property in that process as well. So instead of buying something, maybe just rent for a while, make sure you're ready, make sure they're ready, maybe buy 2 properties down the line, and just don't get into something that might not work out. And most people won't buy a car with someone they just started dating, so make sure don't buy a house either. And that's kind of my top 7 reasons. There's a lot of other ones, but I think this is the most important one, especially for the first-time home buyers out there, especially people that don't know what the process is, and especially people that aren't 100% committed to buying a house. If you check off any of these reasons I gave today, I think you should take a little more consideration before buying. And if you need help with those reasons, again, guys, info below for me, give me a call. At the same time, please like, subscribe to the video, leave a comment if I missed anything major people need to know about. Leave it down there to help people out. And in the meantime, I'm going to link a video up here for the top 5 most affordable properties in New Jersey that you need to check out right now.